Hey Jordan, we're gonna do a real quick recap of your lesson, the first one, and then we'll do later on we'll do a recap of today's lesson. So last week we went over the D chord, kind of how that's the basis for that fourth string right there. That's what kind of makes it the D chord. And then there's other three notes that you're fretting with fingers 1, 2, and 3 right here. They're kind of serving as like the color. So instead of going like this, and then playing your different notes, so that would be a D. Let's say you had a G. So you had something like that, it'd just be a lot less bright, and the sound that you're trying to fill, like with that D chord right here, or all the way down here, it's a lot more full. So just kind of keep in mind that as you're playing the D chord in the open position right here, what you're going to want to be concentrating on is kind of getting a clean sound out of that D chord. And make sure to keep your pinky and kind of dock it and like put it on the body of the guitar right here. And so that way it can give you a precise movement from 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, and then that 1st string. And then over time, that right hand, that technique that develops from that soundboard docking, will you'll be able to do stuff like that without actually having to look down at your right hand. And then the same for your left hand, for that D chord, I can go. I know that's the D chord because of my ear training. So eventually you'll get to that point, and it could be, next week, it could be a month from now. But pretty soon you'll start to hear songs on the radio, and it'll be like, so you'll hear that D chord, so the A, G, A, D, and you'll kind of hear that. So you kind of hear that kind of break on through the mix of the song. So what I want you to do as you practice and you get that elbow room and you carve out your practice spot, is I want you to strum each of the strings. So when you go from the 4th string to the 1st string, and then go back to the 2nd string like this. So you're going to hit the 2nd string and then the 3rd string. So all together it's going to kind of loop. So you're hitting 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then the cycle is repeating. So it's going to go like this. That's the first part of it. And that's kind of like the ending phrase. So it's going to sound like this looped. Okay. And another thing that I want you to do is, because we did the D first off in the first lesson, and we kind of solidified it this second lesson, what I want you to do is to go to the A now. So going from the D to the A, what you're going to do is you're going to keep your first finger on the 3rd string of the 2nd fret. You're going to keep that there, and then you're going to put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret above it. Okay, and that's going to be on the 4th string. And then once you do that, kind of give that 3rd finger room to go below that 1st finger, right there. Okay? So the 2nd finger is going to go here, and this third finger is going to go here. So basically they're all going to be in a row right here. Alright? So it's going to sound a little bit like this. And then the same thing can be done for this A chord that you did with the D. And what I want you to do there is going to be a little bit different because you're going to have 5 notes that you're playing. So it's going to go. And then that's going to be the part where you loop back around. Loop. Loop. You kind of feel it? And then what you can do to kind of play around with this and keep it new and keep it fresh in your mind, and so you're not playing this for an hour. Yeah, it's going to be kind of boring, right? So what I want you to do is to keep that position right there. Keep all those fingers on those second frets on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string, and just move them up twice. So it's going to go 1, 2. So it's going to sound like this. And then again. I'll take my pinky out of the way so you can hear it. So what that's doing is that's creating that A chord right there. So those are the root notes. So what that's doing is it's creating, so as you're playing that A, and you're playing against it almost, like you're playing the A, and then you're playing somewhere above it. So it's not the same A for the octave, which an octave is just 8 full tones away. So this would be, that would be an octave. So it'd go. So that's what I mean by the octave. So what I want you to do is to try to create that build up and kind of move that. So see, that didn't sound too pretty right there. That was kind of dissonant, kind of ugly. That sounds a little bit better, so we know that sounds good, right? That sounds good. That's building, right? You can kind of feel that tension building up. It's a little bit higher. And then there it finally resolves. And that's pretty hard right there. Ooh, it's pretty high. So you wouldn't normally go that high, but just kind of move it around. Keep it new. It's kind of what's, something you could create with your right hand. Something like that. That's it for this lesson. I'm going to go ahead and go to talking a little bit about your musical journal that we went over today during the next lesson. So we'll be moving on.